Ending federal EV tax credits. Why electric vehicles remain a wise investment for your wallet and the world. July 3rd, 2025, 4:30 p.m. EDT, AP. Johnson addresses the public after Trump's budget bill passes. In a recent decision by Congress on Thursday, a sweeping tax and spending cut bill was passed, which includes the termination of federal tax incentives for electric vehicles, EVs. Buyers now have until September 30th to make the most of these credits before they are phased out. Nevertheless, experts argue that EVs continue to be a financially and environmentally sound choice even without these incentives. Before the new bill became law, electric vehicle buyers could benefit from a generous $7,500 tax credit for new EVs and up to $4,000 for used ones. These incentives were essential in making EVs more accessible. But here's where it gets controversial. The average price tag for a new EV in the US is currently about $9,000 higher than that of a typical new gasoline-powered car. Meanwhile, used EVs generally carry a $2,000 premium over their gas counterparts. These credits, along with additional state-level incentives, help to offset these cost differences. Without the federal incentives, Ingrid Malmgren from Pog in America points out that people less many lower and middle-income buyers may find EVs financially out of reach. And this is the part most people miss. Despite the typically higher initial expense of an EV, it remains a smart choice for those who emphasize long-term fuel and maintenance savings. According to Malmgren, even without the federal tax credits, the total ownership costs of an electric vehicle outlast the combined expenses associated with owning a gas-powered car. How much can you actually save? A 2020 academic study published in the journal Joule discovered that on average, the typical US EV using a standard combination of public and home chargers saves the driver around $7,700 in fuel costs over a span of 15 years. Savings can vary significantly by state. If an EV owner charges their vehicle at home during less expensive off-peak hours, especially in places like Washington, where electricity is relatively cheap, they could potentially save beyond $14,000 during the same period. Importantly, these findings focus solely on fuel costs, without incorporating the vehicle's purchase price, maintenance expenses, or tax credits. Controversial takeaway. While manufacturing an electric vehicle typically produces more pollution than the production of a conventional gas vehicle, driving an EV long-term remains decidedly cleaner. After traveling around 15,000 miles, slightly more than the average American annual distance, the initial pollution from both types of vehicles tends to equalize. However, subsequent miles tip the environmental balance in favor of the electric vehicle, reducing its emissions to about half those of the comparable gas car by the end of its life cycle, according to the U.S. Department of Energy. So, unless you're upgrading your car every year, EVs are the eco-friendly choice. What's your take on this? Do you believe electric vehicles offer enough long-term advantages to outweigh their initial costs, even without the federal tax credits? Feel free to share your thoughts below.